Hello, my loves. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to part 2 of my stash. Today, we're going to be going through all of my Makeup Revolution palettes. There are many. There are many, many, many Makeup Revolution palettes. This was one of the first bigger, it is the first of the bigger brands that I discovered, and I have so many of their palettes, not because the quality is insanely amazing, because it's not. It's drugstore, it's good quality, and I can definitely make it work. And I love their palettes, but they're always on sale. They're always on sale, and I'm a sucker for a sale. I don't know what to say. I am a sucker for a sale. I just throw my money at him. Just take it, take it, take it, take it. Every single one of these palettes was bought while it was on sale. If I can help it, I try very hard not to pay full price for anything. So yeah, that's kind of my motto. That's what I live by. When you can, don't pay full price. The first ones we're gonna go through, we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it, because like I said, there's a lot. We're gonna go dive into kind of like these style palettes. These are freaking adorable. I paid $7.50 for each one of these palettes. I will tell you which ones are amazing, which ones aren't. Most of them are really, really awesome. They're nicely pigmented. They blend really well. I really don't have anything super bad to say about most of these palettes. This first one is the Tasty Peach palette by Makeup Revolution. I love the packaging. It's this really like soft touch. I don't know if it's plastic. It's 3D. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's 3D packaging. This is the Tasty Peach. It opens, and then here is our color story. Now, the color story is freaking insane. I absolutely love this color story. It smells like peaches, first of all. It's perfumed, and this was the first palette I'd ever like encountered that was scented, and I kind of just fell in love with it immediately. I love the color story. This is a very peachy, very neutral peachy color story, but it's so pretty. I don't use this palette as much as I should. When I first got it, I used it a bunch, and then I just kind of have moved on. But the shadows in here are really beautiful. See, they're nicely pigmented. They're soft. The shimmers are nice. Everything is beautifully pigmented. I don't have anything really bad to say about this palette at all. It's got a nice size mirror on it. The colors are just... I love the color story. I love it so much. Yeah, so this is the sweet, this is the Tasty Peach palette. And not only that, but I just thought the packaging was like freaking adorable. I just like to have it sitting on my shelf. The next one is the Extra Tasty. This is the watermelon one. This is I Heart Revolution Watermelon Shadow Palette. Again, it's that really pretty, like soft touch. I don't know what it is. It doesn't feel like plastic. It's really, really nice though. They feel really well made. They're nice and heavy. Here is the color story for this one. This one is absolutely gorgeous. This one is, again, I would say half neutral, half pop, half colorful. I really love the green shimmers in here. The shimmer formula is really, really pretty. It's really nicely pigmented. The mattes, you've got a lot of nice, really pretty matte neutrals in here. This blue is just so pretty. I would say that their shimmers are more of like a foiled formula. They're really pretty. They're super easy to work with. Again, it's really well pigmented. It's really nicely pigmented. The reds are really, really bright. Again, I paid $7.50 for this palette. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I love the color story. Super easy to use, super easy to blend and build up on the eye. It's just a nice palette, and it's super, super cute. Next one is I believe this is Turkish Delight. Yeah, this is the Turkish Delight from I Heart Revolution. This palette, The color story is just absolutely stunning. It has got the most beautiful, almost grungy kind of color story, but you've got a pressed glitter in here, which is kind of trash. That's what it looks like. It doesn't go very well on the eye. It looks beautiful in the pan, but it just doesn't translate. It just doesn't translate to the eye very well. It doesn't stick. And not only that, but there are 3 glitters in this palette, and none of them are really any good. This shade Baklava is a really, really beautiful glitter. Oh, I'm sorry, there's 4 glitters in this palette. I thought that was a foil. It's not. There's 4 glitters in this palette, and I'm just not big on pressed glitters in general. And not only that, but it like hardened down. Like, I am digging into this shadow right here, and literally it's a beautiful shade, but there's no, like, it's so hard in the pan that you like have to dig at it to like really get anything out. And that happened to pretty much all of the shimmers in this palette. It's a really beautiful palette, and I was so excited to get it. Like, this one is one of the worst. Like, I'm digging in there. It is so hard in there. Trying to get any kind of color payoff is really, really difficult. I received it that way. Not all of the shimmers have hardened down like that, but enough have that I just haven't touched it. I didn't even really get to play with this at all. I tried to use it once, and I was so upset about it that I just kind of put it away and didn't touch it again. I keep it because it's a really pretty palette. Again, this is perfumed. It smells really, really nice, and it's a beautiful color story. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous color story. Yeah, it's just not really usable. This, I would say, is probably only one of maybe 2 Revolution palettes that I've purchased and was just heartbroken about. This one was, and not only that, but like, there's 4 glitters in here. What do I need 4 pressed glitters in a palette for? Nothing. It does nobody any good. They're beautiful glitters, but they're bad. They're not very good. I wasn't impressed with this palette at all whatsoever. It's a beautiful palette, and I keep it because it's beautiful. But other than that, I would tell you to not waste your money. If you were looking at this palette, because I know they still have it, and I know it goes on sale pretty often, don't even worry about it. Don't bother with this palette. It's hot water garbage. It's beautiful, but it's hot water garbage. So the last one I have in this style is the Chili palette. This is the I Heart Revolution Tasty Chili palette. This is so cute. This was the last one that I bought like this. Again, the color story is pretty neutral. This one is just like red and gold. You've got a pop of magenta down here. You've got like a nice coral, but this is mainly just a neutral palette with some reds thrown in. I feel like their palettes are not very creative. Like, their color stories are not very innovative or creative at all. Their packaging is on point. The packaging is absolutely adorable, but the actual shades inside, there's just nothing that really just grabs my attention in here. Again, colors are fine. The shadows are fine. Totally usable. They're beautiful. They're pigmented. They're pretty easy to work with. I love their foil formula. It is so pigmented. It is so easy to work with, and it looks wet on the eye. It is so pretty. So I actually have a couple of their just foiled palettes, and I love them. I use them all the time. But for me to just kind of like pick this palette up and get inspired by it, it doesn't happen for me. It's a beautiful palette. It's cute as a button, but just not very inspiring. Moving on, we'll go on to my Viva Neon palettes. So I have the orange, the pink, and the green. I ordered these online, and both of these I received broken. So I received, this is the pink one. This is the Neon Shadow Palette Party Vibes. Packaging is super, super cute. I believe this is a Huda ripoff, but I received it and this shade was broken, so they did send me another one. I haven't even touched this one yet, but they're super, super pretty. I will open the other one so you guys can see the clean palette. That's what she looks like when she's not broken. It is a beautiful palette. I love the colors in here. These ones up here are the most beautiful, like silvery shimmers you've ever seen. They're so, so pretty. I spilled everywhere. I should have known better than to open that one up. But yeah, they're so, so pretty. I'm going to swatch a couple of these because I think these top corner shades are just so pretty. It's kind of like, it's almost like a duochrome. It's gray, but then it's got this slight like violet pink shift to it. I know my camera's not going to pick it up, but it is so, so pretty. This one up here is the same. It's got like that smoky gray to it, but then it's got like this undertone of like this violet pinky purple, and it is so, so pretty. I believe that their smaller palettes have a better formula than the bigger ones do. These ones are so, so pretty. I just love the colors. You've got some really nice bright ones in here. Let's do this purple. This purple is very pretty. It's very bright. Again, these are easy to build up. They're easy to blend. They're just, I mean, they're drugstore, but they're easy to use. And when you're a beginner, I feel like that's pretty much what you look for. You just look for things that you can use that are kind of like not out of your league. But this shadow palette is so, so pretty. I like that there's a really, really light shade in here. I like that it goes from being pretty light to pretty deep. I like that there's some contrast in here. That white shade is really pretty. I don't know. I just enjoy the palette, and I wanted to have the complete set because it was the collector in me. So yeah, I have the pink one. I have the orange one. The orange one I have used on multiple occasions. I really, really enjoy this one. I'm kind of a sucker for an orange eye look. This one is beautiful. I would say that I like the orange one more so than the pink one, but it's just so pretty. It is just so pretty. Again, their shimmers are insane. You've got a really pretty kind of like peachy coral shimmer along with the gold, and then of course you've got the really bright neon orange, and then kind of like a macaroni and cheese color, and then you've got this orangey red. That's really pretty. I mean, like I said, they're not the best shadows in the world, but I think I paid, I believe I paid $2.70 for these palettes, and for $2.70, I'm not going to be mad about them at all. The last one I have is the Electric Dreams one. This one is super pretty. It's just a really bright neon yellow palette. Again, you've got some shimmers, you've got some mattes, you've got a really, really light shimmer in here, which is really pretty. They're just fun. They're just fun. There's a really pretty cream shade in here for a really beautiful transition shade. They're just fun, and they look good. I like the packaging. And for $3, I'm not going to be mad about it. The last little one I have is the Heartbreakers palette. This is the fiery one. Again, really nothing to write home about. The shimmers in this one I thought were really, really pretty. The mattes are the same formula as the neon. Yeah, they're just really pretty. I really like this green shimmer. It's green, but it's gold. It's kind of like that chartreusey kind of color. I also thought that this shimmer was really interesting. It's kind of like this very pale orange with like gold reflect in it. It's super pretty. I haven't played with this one yet. I haven't done an actual eye look with it yet. So be on the lookout for a video with this one. Moving on, we have some of the wild animal palettes. So this is the Fierce one, and then this is the Integrity one. There is one more in this series, one or two more in this series that I couldn't get my hands on. I like to collect whole sets. But these ones are really, really nice. These ones I have used. These ones go on the eye. I feel like they revamped their formula, or it is yet again a different formula for these ones, and it's so much better than the little square ones. This is the fiery one, or what is it? No, this is the fierce one. The color story is really beautiful. It kind of feels, it feels high-end. The packaging is really, really nice. It feels nice and heavy. The back is, you know, it's the back. But it's got this really pretty kind of like, I don't know, it just felt high-end to me. It's nice and heavy. I like the design of the pans. The pans are actually embossed. Again, these are fantastic. Their shimmer formula is on point. They have one of my favorite shimmer formulas. It's more of like a foiled formula, but it's so good. It's so easy to work with. The mattes in here are really nice. They're not dusty. They're not powdery. Again, they're not the best, but they are workable and they are usable. They're easy to blend. They're easy to build up. And when you can get these palettes on sale, they are so worth the price. Now, I wouldn't pay full price because a lot of times they want like $15. A lot of times these palettes go for $15 when they're not on sale. I don't think that they're worth $15. Just being completely honest with you, I 100% don't think that they're worth $15. If you're going to spend that kind of money, go to like Moira Cosmetics or, you know what I mean? Like, other than Revolution. Their palettes are always so pretty. Their packaging is always on point. But just for me, the matte formula, the shimmers are great. But the matte formula in these palettes is just, it's not worth $15. I will go ahead and swatch a couple of these ones for you. I have used this palette quite a few times. I think I've used it 2 or 3. I feel like these are better than the smaller ones, for sure. They're much better. The shimmer quality is the same, but these ones, to me, I feel like they have more pigment, and I really enjoy this color story. I think it's very pretty. Again, it's right up my alley. It's got oranges and reds. It's a very warm tone palette. I love it. I love it. This is kind of perfect, and I can see myself using this quite a bit when fall gets here. I just feel like this is a very fall color story. The next one, I love this packaging. It is blue, and it's got the black and white zebra print on it. It is so pretty. Visually, it's just a stunning palette. Again, it's heavy. It feels well made. It's that really nice, heavy plastic. And the color story is just freaking amazing. This blue here is just, oh, it is so gorgeous. I dug into this palette with my nail one time, and it's gonna try to crumble all over on me. This is a shimmer. It's just a really dark cobalt royal blue, but it is just beautiful. It's beautiful on the eye. It is so gorgeous. This bright kind of like electric blue, like cornflower blue, is so pretty. It feels like this formula is much softer. It's more velvety than the small square ones. This formula is just much better overall, in my opinion. The mattes are, for sure. Let's go into this really pretty teal one. See, just one swipe, and I'm not digging into the pans either. But yeah, it's just really pretty. Again, they're just easy to use. And again, I believe I think I paid $4 for this palette. $4 or $5. Definitely worth that. Definitely worth $4 or $5. It is a beautiful palette. I love the color story, and it's definitely worth having in your collection. The next ones I'm going to move on to are, these are just kind of like the cheaper Revolution palettes. These are not I Heart. These are just regular Makeup Revolution. And this is the Foil Frenzy palette. This is the Fusion version. Just simple, cheap plastic packaging. Nothing special about it, but I love, this is a great companion palette. Now, I could not build a look just using this palette, but using this, especially for winter, this is gonna shine. This is gonna shine so, so much in winter for me, just because I feel like it's the really like rusty, just the color story. And not only that, but the textures. This is the foil formula that I enjoy so, so much. They are so shimmery. They just glide onto your skin. They have such an impact. They are just so beautiful. It is just, they're just freaking gorgeous. You put this on your eye. I mean, you could really, you just use, look how pigmented that is. And that's like one swipe. It is so beautiful. They are, and they blend easily. They're not patchy at all. This is a gorgeous palette. This palette I paid $3 for. I got this while it was on sale. I think usually they're like $6 or $7. Totally worth it. These are so worth having in your collection, just to use with other mattes. They're so beautiful. They have such a high impact for very, very little effort. I love them so much. Next one I have is the Revolution Reloaded. This is the jeweled palette. Again, this is just one of the cheapy plastic packaging, very light. I like the color story. These are pretty much all shimmers. I think, yeah, in this whole palette, there's only 2 mattes. You've got a bone color here, and then like a hunter green. The mattes in here are not the best. I do feel like they are better than the small square ones, though. I feel like the pigment is better. Again, some of these are more of like the satin, and then some are the foiled shades. But they are very pretty. They do show up very, very well. So pretty. I use them all the time. And, you know, I get these when they're on sale, and I get them for like $2 or $3, and it's just hard to say no. This one is the Reloaded Deep Dive palette. It's pretty self-explanatory. I was trying to find more blue and green palettes, and this one was on sale. I believe it was on sale for like $1.50, $2, so I jumped on it. The color story, again, is not revolutionary. It's not super interesting, but I did think that there were a couple of shades in here that were worth having in my collection. I really liked this shade here. And it's very oceany. I get very ocean vibes from this, kind of like deep water. I don't know. I haven't used it yet. I haven't made a look with it yet, but I will at some point in the future, near future. Again, I think that the mattes are fine. I mean, they're nothing spectacular, but they are fine. They are workable. They are usable. I like the variety of blues that you get in this palette. They're just pretty shadows. Their shimmers are always beautiful. Yeah. The next one is the Passion for Color. Now, I feel like the Passion for Color and the jeweled are almost identical. Maybe placed differently, but I feel like these palettes are all they're identical. Maybe 1 or 2 shades are different, but again, they're not very inspiring. There's no ingenuity. They are what they are. I like them. I'll use them. They don't inspire me though. This one I have is the Revolution Pro. I really like the Revolution Pro formula. It is really nice. I feel like it is, again, better than these for sure, and I feel like it's even better than these ones. These ones are a bit more velvety, in my opinion. Definitely more pigmented, for sure. I liked this color story. This, I would say, See, look at that blue. It's just stunning. It's a very pretty palette. It's kind of deep and dark. I feel like there's a lot of dimension in this palette, which is really nice. Also, there is a very deep black shade in here, which is actually really nice. It's hard to find a really good black shade, but this one, look how black that is. That is super black. It's not patchy at all, and yeah, I mean, definitely worth having. I actually really enjoy this palette. I've used it. I haven't used it. Have I used it? I don't even remember, but it's a really pretty palette, and I'm glad that I have it. This I think I paid $4.50 for this palette. This one is actually one of my favorites out of all of the Makeup Revolution palettes that I own. This is the Earth and Stone. This is the Revolution Pro again, so it's the same formula as this, but I just really love the packaging. It's this black faux leather color focus shadow palette. This one is a really beautiful color story. So this one has got a lot of really earthy tones. So you've got this really beautiful green, and then you've got this duochrome here. It shifts from like a pinky purpley almost red to this very white to a pearl. It's very pretty. Again, you've got a really, really light tone and a very pretty deep dark black, and then you've got some pretty gold tones. Yeah, it's really pretty. It's a really pretty palette. Most of these are shimmers though, so again, I would have to have a companion palette with it of mattes so that I could build my look and then accentuate it with some of these, but super pretty. I absolutely love this one, and again, packaging is A+. This is one of the very, very first Revolution, this is Makeup Obsession, palettes that I got. I've never used it. I got it, and this shade was broken, and I looked at the color story, and though it's a very pretty color story, it's almost like a rainbow palette. It just didn't inspire me. I have used this a couple times as like a companion palette for maybe 1 or 2 shades. This color down here, Hero Worship, is actually really pretty, and I have used that a couple times with other palettes. Also, this Joy color is very, very pretty. It's just, I don't know, it just didn't excite me. It's pretty, and I got it on sale. I think I got it on sale for $2. I thought the packaging was cute. It's bright pink, but I got it, and again, it just didn't do it for me. This shade right here, though, Excite, looks really pretty. That is a really beautiful, like, grungy green shimmer. That's actually really pretty. I do like that you can take the pans out of here. So what I might do is just depot it and put it in a magnetized palette and just throw the case away. The next ones I'm going to talk about are these ones. So these are the Revolution Forever Flawless palettes. This is the We Are Love one. This is a rainbow. Okay, let's talk about the packaging first. This is kind of like metal. It's like a metal tin package. Very heavy. Feels very, very sturdy. I love this. I love the kind of like tie-dye rainbow on the front. It's just a really pretty palette aesthetically to look at. Got a nice big mirror on it. But the color story on this is just... Oh, this is definitely one of my favorite Revolution palettes that I own. I used this and made the most beautiful cut crease eye look. One of the best ones I've ever done. I adore this palette. This is definitely one of my favorites. This green right here is insane. This shimmer, this silver shimmer, is gorgeous. I got this palette for $4. It was on sale. I jumped on it. I wish I would have got a second one so that I could have done a giveaway. But this palette is stunning. I will probably have this forever until it hard pans and I can't use it anymore. I can swatch. I'm going to swatch this silver shade. It literally looks like melted silver. It is a beautiful, beautiful metallic silver shade. This blue is really beautiful. The pigmentation on these shadows is beautiful. It's like extremely pigmented. They're super easy to use. They blend really well. That purple is spot on. And it's not patchy at all. They're so, so pretty. You've got some colors in here that are almost pastel, but then you've got other bright. Oh, I just love the way that they put this palette together. I feel like a lot of their palettes are not very well thought out. Everything's just kind of rushed just to kind of throw a product out there. But I feel like when they did this color story, they really thought about it and thought about what colors and what textures would work well together. Oh, I love this palette. If you can ever find it on sale, jump on it. It is, oh, it is one of my favorites. One of my absolute favorites. I love, love, love this palette. The next one I have is the Forever Flawless Utopia palette. Again, the packaging is A+. Just a beautiful kind of like galaxy-ish. Oh, it's so pretty. This is a very pretty, grungy, purple, earthy color story. It is gorgeous. I have not used this as much as I wish I would. I just am always so busy, but the time is coming. Sean's about to go back to school, and I'm going to have so much time to sit here and play. But that blue is just beautiful. Let's try one of these purples. The shadows feel really nice. They feel nice and velvety. That's really pretty as well. They have some of these shimmers in here that are just, I love this color right here. It is such an interesting, it's like a mauve shimmer, and it is so, so pretty. This one is really beautiful. If you like a deep, dark color story, this is definitely for you. I feel like the Forever Flawless palettes are actually some of the nicer palettes that they've come out with. Packaging and formula-wise, they're really, really beautiful. The last one I have, this was bought for me for Christmas last year. My sister-in-law picked this out for me. She just thought that the packaging was really, really cute. I think it's really, really beautiful. This is the sativa, I believe. This is called the Revolution Chilled with Cannabis Sativa. So there's all kinds of really pretty hippie-ish pot leaves on the front. Again, it's that really nice, sturdy metal packaging. And then on the inside, we have a very grungy green color story. This is beautiful. You've got some really beautiful neutrals over here. You've got some greens. There are some glitters in here that are really pretty. Again, I'm not big on the glitter. I would not... See, that glitter is just stunning. I would not have bought this palette for myself just because it does have pressed glitters in there, and they're just not my favorite. I'm not a big glitter person anyway. It does have its purpose, but on a daily basis, it's just not something that I reach for. But it's a beautiful palette. Again, the textures, there's little pot leaves embossed in the actual pans, which is so, so pretty. It's a beautiful color story. It's nice and grungy. It's very deep. Yeah, there's not much bad I can say about it. This silver looks freaking gorgeous, though. That's stunning. That's a really beautiful silver. This is really pretty. I need to use this more, but this is a really pretty palette. This is the chilled palette. So, 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 so pretty. The next ones I'm going to talk about are the not ColourPop, but the color books. These are really nice. I would suggest these if you were like a makeup artist or just starting out with makeup and trying to like learn colors. This is a really, really nice palette to have. For the most part, these are $15, I believe, but you can find them on sale. They're almost always on sale. I believe I paid $7 for this one, $10 maybe. But you have all your mattes on this side, and then you have this clear plastic cover that flips over, and then you've got shimmers on this side, which I thought was such a cool concept. So you've got every color that's a matte, you have the same color but a shimmer, which is really, really nice because it's just there for you. This is easy. You've got it just kind of laid out for you. There's really nice gradients. This is just, yeah. And not only that, but the shadows are actually really, really nice. The shimmers, again, the shimmer formula is really nice. They're not the most pigmented things on the planet, but they do work. That is why I would suggest these for a beginner. They're definitely not pro level shadows at all. but they are pigmented and they do blend and they do work. And if you can get it on sale, it's definitely worth your time. So I have the red one. This is the Color Book 03, so that's the red one. And then I also have the neutral one. So this is the 02. Again, it's the same layout. I really loved the tones in this one. I go straight for this palette to create a neutral look 9 times out of 10 when I want to do a neutral look, just because I've got pretty much every shade that I could need. This is more of a cool toned palette, so I've got pretty much every cool tone shade that I would need. And not only that, but I have, you know, shimmer shade too, so it's kind of perfect. It's just everything that you need in one palette. These are really, really nice. I feel like this would be great for like a makeup artist too, just because it's so many shades right there. The next ones that I'm going to talk about are these kind of like special edition ones. Now I'm going to be honest and tell you that I got these for the packaging. The packaging is absolutely beautiful. This feels like gold leaf. It is so pretty and it is so shiny. And then the colors in here are stunning as well. I like the way that they're laid out. These look legit, just like melted metal. They're so, so pretty. You've got some shimmers and you've got mattes. I just loved the color story, especially for summer. For like a hoey and glowy kind of look, this is just stunning. You've got really light ones and then it goes pretty deep. You've got a nice pink tone here. It's a beautiful palette. I believe I paid $12.50 for this palette, I'm pretty sure. This is the XX Revolution, so this formula is actually really, really nice. The mattes on these are super creamy, super buttery, super easy to work with. They're just stunning. I really adore this palette, and I've used this quite a few times this summer. It's really, really beautiful. I'm going to clean myself up real quick because I have swatches everywhere. And then we'll move on to the next one. The next one is a foiled palette as well. But this one is more of like a red color story. And I got this one because it was on sale. I believe I paid $3 for it, $3 or $4 for it. And packaging, again, A+. It's very pretty, very sparkly. It's just, it's so pretty. It looks like that front and back. Super, super pretty. It's textured, so you can like feel the sparkles on there. It's just a really beautiful palette, and I do display this one. And then you open it up. I haven't even used it yet. Plastic's still in there. You've got a really nice sized mirror. And then you've got all these beautiful foiled shades. Now again, this is what I would call a companion palette. I could not make a whole look with this just for myself, because again, I like to build with mattes and accentuate with shimmers. But I love the shimmers in this palette. You've got really beautiful like ruby red tones in here, and then you've got some really pretty like pinky purples up here, and then of course you've got gold and bronze in the middle. It's a really beautiful palette. The shades are stunning. They go on so easily. I really love this pink shade right here. This red is like, I don't really have anything else like that, quite like that, in my collection. It is so beautiful. It is such a bright metallic red. So, so pretty. This one is more of like a garnet color, I would say. That's really pretty as well. It's like a very kind of like soft, almost pinky red. This one I would say is kind of like more of a burgundy tone, like a garnet color. That's super pretty. Yeah, just a really pretty palette, and it's nice to look at, so that's always nice too. Moving on to my collab palettes. Okay, so I have the Revolution Rachel Leary palette. This is the Goddess on the Go palette. It's a beautiful palette. I love the color. I love the coral, like soft matte kind of packaging on it. Super, super pretty. On the inside, you've got a really nice big mirror. And then you've got all these really beautiful, like nude shades. There's really beautiful, like metallics down here. Then you've got kind of like a face palette here. I don't know if these are supposed to be like blushes and contour, or a blush, a contour, and highlighters. I use it all as eyeshadow though. This is such a beautiful pink shade. It's very, very shimmery. Look how pretty that is. It is a beautiful... I got this palette for $2.50 when it was on sale. But I'm not going to be upset about it at all. I feel like these probably are highlighters, because they are blinding. They really are very, very pretty. But they work beautifully as eyeshadows, and that's what I use them for. You've got 5 mattes, and the rest are shimmers. Oh, if you count this one is matte as well. That's just a really pretty nude tan shade. That's really, really pretty. This is kind of like a perfect everyday palette. I have not used this palette yet, but it's because it was shoved way back in the back, and I actually forgot that I had it. But this is a really beautiful, and it's got some warm tones in here, which of course is right up my alley. This is a beautiful palette. I love this. Packaging, again, A+. This is the Revolution Roxy palette. I love this palette. I actually went out of my way and drove all the way to Asheville, which is like 2.5 hours one way there, and just to get this palette while it was on sale at Ulta. So yeah, it's really difficult to keep clean because it's mirrored, but I love the packaging. I love the gold mirror that it's got on there. I even love the color of the Roxy. I just love the aesthetic of it. It's so, so pretty. You open her up, and then you've got again a nice big mirror, and then you've got all these really beautiful warm toned, you've got some warm tones, and then you've got some cool tones, but I would say that this is mostly, I don't know. What would you say? Is that a warm or a cool tone palette? Either way, she's beautiful. This is, again, a perfect everyday palette. You've got some really beautiful shimmers in here. It goes from really light to nice and deep down here. You've got some pops of color down here. You've got like a pinky red. You've got like a mauvey purple, and then you've got a really beautiful teal color. This is just a beautiful palette. I love the yellow in here is actually really, really pretty. I will swatch a couple of these shades for you. This red, pinky red, is very, very pretty. And I feel like with Revolution Cosmetics, their collabs usually have the best formulas. So when you can find one that's on sale, that is a collab palette, I would say jump on it. They're just so pretty. And so worth having. Yeah, this is a beautiful everyday neutral palette with a pop, with, you know, just a pop of color. Let's go into this unicorn shade. This looks really interesting. This looks like it might be kind of like a duochrome. Is it though? No, that's just a really, really pretty pearl shimmer. It's very pretty. It might have like little... I just have glitter all over myself though, and I can't tell if it's part of the shadow or if I just have glitter all over myself. But I'm going to go ahead and say that that's just like a really pretty white pearl shade. It's a very pretty palette. I got this while it was on sale. I think I paid $7.50 for this palette. Totally worth it. It's a really pretty palette. I love the packaging. This one, the Tammy and Revolution, Tammy X Revolution Carnival palette, is gorgeous. I received it though, and this shade was busted. I was super excited about the shade. It was a very kind of like metallic chartreuse color, very vibrant. I was very upset about that, but the rest of the palette is really pretty. I have used this palette to do multiple rainbow eyes, and it comes out beautiful every single time. The mattes in here are super pigmented and velvety, and the shimmers, you know, shimmers are always great. I'm not even going to swatch it because you guys have seen these colors a million times. Again, nothing revolutionary here, but a really pretty palette, a really, really nice rainbow palette, and I'm definitely glad that I have it. I only have 3 or 4 more Revolution palettes left, and then this video will be over. We're only going to do the Revolution palettes today. I told you I had quite a few, and I've been sitting here for almost an hour. But I have the small Tammy X Revolution, and then I have the big one. This one I actually just got. I just got it from the most recent sale that they had, and I have wanted it. I wanted it to go with my other one, and now I have both of them. I'm super happy about it. This palette is beautiful. You've got a really nice big mirror in the top, and then you've got this really beautiful palette. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I thought I just saw. I didn't. Everything is okay. Whew. Anyway, I love this palette. It goes from really nice and light. You've got all kinds of neutral shades up here. And then you've got, the only thing I don't like about it is, again, you've got 3 glitters in here. I don't need the glitter. I don't want the glitter. I pay for eyeshadow, not glitter. If I wanted glitter, I would buy glitter. I just don't understand it. I feel like it's lazy. I feel like they couldn't figure out what other shadows to put in here, so they just threw a glitter in there, and it's lazy, and I don't need it, and I feel like you're stealing my money when you give me glitter. But that's okay, because all the other shades are really, really pretty. These blues down here are amazing. These 2 purples I'm just so in love with. I love that you could do a very neutral look. The possibilities with this palette are really just quite endless. The shadow formula is really, really beautiful. I love, look how beautiful that is. Look how beautiful that is. So pigmented. They do blend so beautifully. Just that purple alone, just, oh, it makes me so happy. I love that there's little palm trees embossed in the pans. It's so pretty. I like the ratio of mattes to shimmers in here. It's really beautiful. I would say, if anything, it's probably matte heavy, which makes me so happy. You've got 2 full rows of mattes, and then you've got 1.5 rows of well, you've got 2 rows of shimmers, but 3 of them are glitters, so we're not going to count those. So I'm going to say 1.5 rows of shimmers. But I like that the shimmers correspond to the mattes, and I feel like it's all very cohesive. It's well thought out, and it's just a really, really beautiful palette. Again, I paid $12.50 for this palette. It was on sale, and I'm so happy that I did. I really, really like this palette. I'm very happy with it. This one I paid $12.50 for as well. This is the Revolution Glow palette. Let's talk about this packaging for just a minute. It looks very much like... It looks very much like this one. It's kind of the same thing. They're both very glowy. They're both very shiny. This one is glittery, and this one is not. This one just looks like they took like a very expensive fabric and put it on a palette. It's just a very pretty, it feels good. It's nice and soft. I loved this palette. I loved this palette when I saw it on the website, and I waited for it to go on sale, and I grabbed it. $12.50. This is just the Revolution Glow palette. This is the quintessential neutral palette with a pop of blue. You've got a gigantic mirror up here, and then you've just got neutrals. This is a perfect summer palette. You want to talk about a bronzed goddess? This palette will do it for you in a heartbeat. It is a beautiful, beautiful palette. It is very shimmer heavy, though. I do wish that there were a few more mattes in here to kind of even everything out. But other than that, it's a really beautiful palette. You've got some really beautiful corals in here, some camel colors. There's a deep purple here. You've got a really deep burgundy here. This is, I don't know if that's really deep blue or a black. That's a black. So you've got a black in here. You've got a really, really light shade, a really, really dark shade, some color. You could really do anything with this palette. This is a stunning, stunning palette. Truly one of my favorites. And yeah, I use this all the time. I've been using this all summer. It's a beautiful palette. I do wish that there were more mattes in here, but some of the shimmers are like low key enough that you can kind of use them. You know, with a matte, or you can kind of mix this kind of like bone cream color in with one of the shimmers and kind of dull it down enough. It's just very pretty. It's a very pretty palette. Aesthetically, it's very pleasing, and I'm very happy that I have it. The next one I have is the Emily Edit. So this is the Wants palette. This palette caused all kinds of controversy on YouTube a while back. I know that this palette is fairly old, but I got this on sale. I paid $3 for this palette. It was $3 and I had to have it. It's a beautifully made palette. It's nice and heavy, nice and sturdy. Again, I love this kind of like nudie peach color of the packaging. It's really beautiful. You've got a giant mirror up here, and then you've got all these really beautiful shades. The shadows in here are actually nice. Some of them are indeed just a little bit patchy, and I don't know if that's because this palette is old or if that's just the formula in general. But you've got a really beautiful white shade. You've got a really beautiful dark shade. You go from really light to nice and deep. There is a lot that you can do with this palette. You've got a really beautiful like periwinkle purple. You've got some nice greens in here. This is a beautiful palette. There's a lot that you could do with it. And yeah, I'm excited to play with it a little bit more. The very last Revolution palette that I own is the Revolution XX Revolution X-Ray Shadow Palette. Now this palette, the packaging is really pretty. It's not very heavy, but I do like the design on the front. I feel like it's just kind of like edgy and very modern looking. You open it up. There's no mirror, but it does say extra shades, extra color, extra. It's a beautiful palette. This I would say is like a pro level palette, just because it does fold down. This is a very easy palette to use. There's pretty much every shade of pink that you could ever need is in this palette. Again, you've got a very dark shade, you've got a black in here, and then you've got very light shades as well. This is a beautiful palette. You can do, if you desire pink, you desire this palette. This is a beautiful, beautiful pink palette. It is the only palette that I own that is dedicated solely to pink, and I love it so much. They actually have a couple more palettes in this series that I want so badly, but I'm waiting for them to go on sale. There's a green one and a coral one that I am just dying for, but I will bide my time. They're a $30 palette. Some of them are $33, some of them are closer to $25, but they're pretty expensive. I think that they're worth it because this formula is really, really nice. I just don't spend that much money on palettes. But this one I got on sale for $12.50, and I was so happy about it. I jumped on it, and I'm so happy that I did. This is a beautiful, beautiful palette. I have made so many really pretty pink eye looks with it, and I just feel like there's so much depth here. It really is so worth having. All right, guys, that was all of my Revolution palettes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day tomorrow. I love you all so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I would super appreciate it. Yeah, that's it for me for now. I love you guys so much. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, and remember, you're important.